Hey, what's up guys? I'm Glenn with DIY Creators, and today we're coming back with another one, and I'm gonna be showing you guys some really quick and simple projects that you can tackle in your shop. Now they are hacks, but it doesn't mean that all hacks are bad hacks, and I wanna show you that some of these are really cool and can totally make its way into your shop and the way you operate. I'm gonna kick this off by tackling the one that I created a couple days ago, and that's attaching dust collection to your circular saw. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's a perfect solution, but it does work. Circular saws create a lot of dust, and if you have a circular saw, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the best way to contain this is by hooking up a shop vac to it or your dust collection system. Most of the time, dust ports are an optional item that you have to purchase after you pick up your saw. So not every saw will come with them, and I actually have a saw that don't come with them. For this hack, you're gonna need a dust port on your circular saw, or you can create one. I had the best luck using these rubber reducer coupler things that you can find in the plumbing section, and also a milk jug or empty water bottle. I drilled a bunch of small holes in the jug. I am now making the decision that this will be the top section of the container. I'm not 100% sure these holes actually help, but they're there. Coincidentally, the coupler fit right over the bottle along with these other things that I've had on hand. I was hoping that the friction fit would be good enough to hold all this together, but after a bit of vibration and shaking, I can see that the jug would more than likely fall off. So a quick fix to this is just applying hot glue around the perimeter of the coupler. So now I'm going to do a couple passes just to show the difference with the jug on and with the jug off, and then you can make the decision on if this is good enough or this is a waste of time. So as long as you don't mind being a funny looking person on a job site with a bottle attached to your circular saw, then this would probably do the trick and you won't have to worry about throwing dust all over the place. And one thing to keep in mind, there is no suction happening here in terms of a vacuum, so you're still gonna have a little bit of sawdust on your work surface. Until you have one of these, you won't really know how awesome it is to own a marking gauge. This is a store-bought version, so we won't be making one this cool, but we're gonna make one that has very similar purpose. To get involved in this one, I'm gonna use a piece of 1-inch dowel rod. And you can use any piece of wood. Because this is round, it's much easier to hold on to. Now drill a small hole right in the center of that and add a wood screw. Anything from 1.25 inches to 2 inches should do the trick. Now to give you some ideas, great use for this is if you want to cut mortise tenons, if you also want to cut dado joints and rabbets, or if you just want to place a line close to an edge somewhere, maybe you want to line up pieces of wood in the same exact location, then you just make one consistent line along the edge. And as a sample, I'm going to show you how you can quickly make a rabbet cut using a handsaw. As you can see, there was no need for a pencil. I just set the depth that I needed to, make the marks on both sides, and bam, we're in business. Now you wouldn't want to take your marking gauge and then start striking lines on a piece of metal. With the screw, it means don't worry. Draw out your straight lines and just keep on moving. As long as the edge is square, you would get a consistent line going around the entire perimeter. So coming up to shop tip number 3, a sandpaper / tape cutter. There's a number of ways you can go about this, but I'm going to show you 2 quick solutions. For the first option, take a piece of wood, something that you can store in cabinets or put away easily. And you can use any size hacksaw blade that you choose. Now place a couple washer or a nut to set the gap between the blade and the wood. Now drive a screw right through and into the wood. And this works surprisingly well. But at the same time, you're probably thinking, why don't you just use scissors? Well, I don't know about you, but I have a hard time keeping up with anything in my shop that's smaller than a table saw. So chances are I may have a hard time keeping up with this cutter if it's stuck to a piece of board. So this brings me to the next way to use the hacksaw blade to make cuts. Attaching it directly to a workbench. Chances of me not being able to locate the workbench is very low, so I think this is a great solution and it would be the option I'd recommend. Thankfully I didn't have to learn the hard way, but it is a better solution to have the teeth facing down versus up. Not only does this cut sandpaper in just about any grit, it'll also slice through tape as well. And moving on to tip number 4, oh, the joy of having dust collection at your drill press. This hack is gonna be like a 2-for-1 because we're also gonna have a drum sander / spindle sander, whichever one you want to refer to it as, along with the dust collection. So I'm gonna start off by drilling out a 2.5-inch hole in a piece of plywood. Then I'll drill a small hole in a PVC reducer. Next, I attach a round base magnet using a screw and a nut. And after tightening that up, I can now plug my vacuum hose onto the other side of this. Now, if you have the same exact pieces as I do here with the hose and also the PVC attachment, this wasn't a perfect fit. So I used 2-sided tape to shrink the hole and create a wedge. Adding the magnetic base makes this quick and simple to add and remove dust collection, not only from your drill press, but other tools in your shop. And as you can see, the drum sander is working flawlessly. The plywood base is held down with a few screws from underneath. The dust collection is working pretty good as well, and this is using a shop vac. So imagine if you have a dust collection system, I'd imagine your suction would be a whole lot better. For this next one, I'm gonna show you how to use your clamps to get a little squeeze action out of your silicone tubes or caulk tubes. So you may be wondering, like, why this? Well, many times, a lot of people go to the store, pick up things, and then you always forget to grab something. In my case, I have one of these, a caulk gun, but I always seem to misplace it. And I wanna show you guys a tip that I like to do when I can't find that thing and I don't wanna waste a lot of time looking for it. So the first thing you're gonna need is your silicone or caulking, and then the next thing you're gonna need is a good size clamp. On a caulk gun, you have a cutter, so it cut off the tip of this, but we're gonna do that with a razor, just in case, because you can't find your caulk gun, remember that. So the next thing we're gonna do is just attach this here to the clamp, tape it on. Now you can probably use zip ties or whatever you have to use in order to make this happen, but I think everybody have tape. Now the next thing we're gonna need is a piece of wood. Don't have to be this long, it can be whatever size you need it to be. Then we're gonna work that into here. There's no reason to strap this down. You can probably use a piece of zip tie and that to hold it in place, but I think once you start putting pressure on here, it's not going anywhere. And it doesn't matter if you have a razor or if you have a knife or something, you can just snip the tip off just like that. All right, so let's see if we can make a good, nice, straight caulk line. Just release the tension and stop the caulk line from coming out. Well, I mean, what do you think there? That looks pretty good to me. So my point is, we're not trying to eliminate the caulk gun completely. The point is, if you don't have one or you cannot find yours, don't be slowed down by not having the right tools. There's always something you can do to possibly create a quick hack and get by. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about these projects down in the comments. Let me know if these are things that you would incorporate in your shop. Also, if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know down in the comments. On top of that, let me know what you want to see get made. If you have some cool ideas that you just can't think about how to bring it to life, let's do it. Let me know down in the comments and I'll do my best to create those for you guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that is it for today. I'm Glenn with DIY Creators, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Oh, also, if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, turn on your notifications so that you know when I upload a new video. Well, I think that was do it for today, and I will see you guys in the next one.